Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is the first week of the month, and that's when I usually do my dollar cost average into precious metals. And it always happens. You better bet that tomorrow the price of silver is going to go down, because whenever I purchase my dollar cost average at the beginning of every month, usually the day after I purchase it, silver goes down. But let's go in there and talk to Jerry and Dick and see what's going on with gold and silver, because I've seen that in the last couple of days the price has just really taken off. They're still here, ladies and gentlemen. They have not gone anywhere. I know Jerry and Dick, everyone's missed you so much. They're like, Rudy, what the heck are you doing keeping us away from Alaska Rare coins for so long? So say hello to everyone, Jerry.
Hello.
Dick is playing video games on the computer again like he normally is. So, Jerry, I found out that the price of gold has been going up pretty good the last few days. Why is that? Why is that? Why are precious metals going up in price? I really haven't been checking the news for the last month and a half or so. So I don't even know what's going on in the world, except that a few banks went under in California or something like that. And I think I heard something about Trump being indicted for, I don't know, I have no idea what for, to tell you the truth. I heard that. And I think that's and I heard something about UK going over to a CBDC, and the US is going to be going over to a CBDC in July of this year.
I haven't read today why the fast jump today, but yeah, the last 2-3 weeks have been really hectic here. The failure of the two banks really woke people up.
Wow.
And, now, a lot of folks are saying yes, but they're anomalies. You know, the Silicon Valley Bank had its own problems, management problems and all that, and there's truth to that. But the problem that the banks are having right now is that for really, 10, 15 years, we saw interest rates at virtually nothing. Mm-hmm. And then the Fed said, well, we need to start raising those rates, which they should have done a long time ago, but they didn't. And they did it rather rapidly. So a lot of the investments that the banks have made, especially in municipal bonds, things like that, they paid 2%, 3% interest, so they're on the books at these low rates. Well, it's no problem for a bank if they hold it to maturity. They're going to be cashed out of that bond plus their 2-3% interest. So there's no loss of money. But every year when banks have to do their balance sheets, they have to show those investments at what the book value would be now. And so if you take all that bond portfolio, which they've built up over 10, 15 years, they have to show that at a loss. So you have to discount that note in order to find a buyer. Well, if a bank doesn't do that, there is no loss. They don't need to discount the note or find a buyer. When interest rates go up that rapidly and a bank can't match it as far as providing a CD or something in that area, money's going to flow out. It's going to go into other areas where you can get a better rate of return. And when you start doing that to a bank, you lose their liquidity, and then they can't make the loans that they need to make.
Let me take a look at what silver you have, Jerry, because today's the first week of the month, remember? Dollar cost average for me. That means that tomorrow the price of silver will be going down, because I'll be making a small purchase today, right? And then we'll talk more about this here in a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. This is a 10-pack. So, Jerry, this is a 10-pack of 1 ounces, right? So this is
10 ounces.
Oh, these are 10 ounces? I thought they were 1 ounces. I thought I was going to get these at the 1 ounce discount price. Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. A 10-pack of 10 ounces. Man, I wish that I was going to be able to get this. I might be able to get 1, maybe 2 at the most, but these are awesome. Look at that. Are these Sunshine?
No, these are privately done. I'm not actually sure who did these ones.
I've got a couple of these from the past that I bought in the past several months. These are very nice. Silvertown, that's what I think they are. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Is that cool? So, Jerry, has it been pretty hectic here? I guess for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been hectic here as far as you selling silver. Or what about buying?
Then not so much buying.
But selling?
Some. Now that gold's hit the 2,000 level, I'm hoping that it might come in. We've seen a little of that, but but it's still more interest in procuring, not selling.
Yeah, and that's that $2,000 mark is a pretty big psychological barrier, isn't it, for people?
Several times, and every time it's done that, it's filtered back down rather rapidly. So
yeah,
it's a time to be cautious.
Okay, so what are premiums looking like on silver nowadays?
Still holding at about $350 over for small quantities.
Wow.
You should be able to get a large quantity, meaning 500 or more, for somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3 to $310 over.
That is amazing. I think that's a great deal.
That may change. If the demand starts increasing a lot, then you're going to see that going up.
Yeah. Wow. I think that the premium out there in the internet, I think it's probably a little higher than 350, isn't it?
Yeah, you see it much higher with some places, but that should be the market that you find with the dealers in your area.
Right.
Should be close to that.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is why I always say, make friends with a local coin shop. All right, that way you can trust each other, you can have a relationship, because Jerry here is not only in it for the money. All right, of course he has to make a profit because this is a business, but he wants to take care of his community. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. That right there, what you're looking at, is roughly $50,000 to $60,000 worth of gold that was mined. Was this mined locally? That's 30 ounces. It just doesn't look like very much. And I mean, look at my hand compared to the bowl. It's not that big, right? But that's 30 ounces of gold right there. And this is a great way to show you why it is that gold is real money. Because the value, oh, look at that. Yep, there's a quarter. But the value of gold is in the work that was put into getting this out of the ground, right? That's one of the things that gives gold value. The other thing is its scarcity, and you cannot print it out of thin air. But imagine all of the work that it took for someone to mine this out of the ground, to pan it, to whatever it is. About how many hours work do you think that is, Dick? Just guessing roughly.
The miner is not just panning it. He's got a D8 cat, a loader.
Oh no, yeah, I know.
Sluice box.
Yeah.
He's got a huge investment in equipment.
Yep, exactly, and it's capital. Yep. It's got capital, manpower, energy, all of that stuff, put into it. But about how many hours would you say, if you have experience in mining and doing this?
I don't really have experience in mining, but I'm going to guess that is probably a month's production.
So this right here is about a month's production, and like Dick said, on top of all of the capital that was invested into the equipment, the manpower, the energy put into getting this. It's perceived value also.
Absolutely.
Because this right here is not going to trump food if there's no food available.
No.
Right? No. So yeah, perceived value also, but I'm going to go ahead and stand by my guns, ladies and gentlemen. I think that gold being scarce and not easy to get gives it value. But of course, just like Dick said, it's also perceived value. It's pretty. People like it. They want it. And of course, it does have a historical measure, being that it's always been used as money. So that's kind of like in our DNA, I would say.
I agree.
So Dick, the way that this works is, just to let everyone else know, is this gold right here came from a miner. Someone brought it in that little, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, all of that gold is in this little bottle right here. So someone brought that in that little bottle. And now what do you do? Did you already pay the miner for it? Okay.
No. We do not take a financial position on this gold. We receive it for General Refining Corporation. We ship it to them. They refine it. And we have a checking account here that I use, and when they tell me how much money to give the miner, that's the money I give to the miner.
Oh, okay. So there's no middleman in it for you? You guys don't make anything off of this?
I get a small percentage.
Okay. Okay, no, I mean, the reason I ask is because there has to be something, you can't just be giving away your service. No. So that's good for you guys. No, awesome.
We get a teeny tiny cut.
So about what percentage of purity, I don't even know if we've already covered this, but what percentage of purity from your experience and the mine that this is coming from is this gold right here?
This is going to be about 94%. Most Alaskan gold runs 75, 80%, sometimes mid-80s. This is some of the purest gold in the state.
Also, so we are looking at roughly $50,000 to $60,000 right there.
Plus, it also has platinum.
Well, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be my dollar cost average this month, because these are so cool. This is platinum, and they are in the form of 1 gram bars. Look at that. And there's 10 grams here. So it's a little bit pricey because it's platinum compared to silver, but these are just so cool that I have to get them. And we're going to go ahead and call it good for today because Jerry and Dick are pretty busy. But let's say thank you very much to Dick for taking us to school. What do you know, Jerry? That you're the real star. You are the star, okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had some fun visiting Jerry and Dick today. And again, thanks to Dick for taking us to school today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the market to buy precious metals because you know what's coming down the line, I'm not a financial advisor, but I would say get them as soon as you can. Because like Jerry said, they've been really busy. And I see that in the long term, it's a win-win situation for having some precious metals in your portfolio. So Jerry, I have a question before I leave. What do you think is going to happen with the price of gold and silver going forward? Let's say short term, 6 months to 12 months.
I don't know. Every day I change my mind. I was projecting up until a few weeks ago that gold would settle in between 18 and 1900 and essentially establish a new base. And then we probably won't ever see it go back down to that 1500 level again. I'm starting to believe that's true. I just don't see it ever tumbling that far. So I think the downside risk is 18 to 1900 in that area. Upside, I really don't know. We're getting into uncharted territory right now. The highest it's been is around 2070. So today we're at 2020 and change. We're pushing that high, but records are always made to be broken. I have to think that there'll be a sell-off of some kind. Towards the end of this week, possibly Friday, people cover short positions and take their profits or whatever. That tends to be traditional. But lately, in the last couple of months, tradition has kind of gone out the window.
Right.
But I would guess that it will taper off somewhat. We'll see some profit taking. But I think the days of sub $1,800 gold might be gone.
Wow. That's a big statement, actually. Let me ask you what you think about this notion that I have. So I think that since a lot of the stocks that are purchased in the stock market, that a lot of them are purchased on leverage, right? Do you think that if we have some kind of a stock market crash, that the price of gold and silver will plummet as well, but only for the short term, and then come back up once people realize that, hey, it's the stock market that crashed because it was just a paper tiger, but gold and silver is still true to what it is, and it's just going to go back up, pretty much like what happened in 2008.
Yeah, I think that's the scenario. I think you hit the nail on the head. 2008, everybody thought, well, gold and silver are going to rise because the stock market has taken such a hit. But for that week, we sold incredible amounts of gold and silver. Everything that we had remotely related to it, we sold. The hard part for us was trying to repurchase it because on the exchange, it was the first time I ever experienced where I couldn't make a trade. Wow. I couldn't replenish the quantities that we had sold because nobody had anything. They were already pre-sold too far out in the future. And so it is a very inelastic supply, and that is a problem. But yeah, normally when the market goes down, you'll see the metals flounder a little bit also because people are selling hard assets to cover losses or short positions or whatever they're doing. It's like they always think gold's going up when a war started. Like when we went into Iraq, well, it went down because all the big boys have already made the play on that supposition, But you're also right in the fact that it's short term. It tends to be a short term deal and then go back up to where it was again. That happened in 2008. It's happened under other scenarios as well. And I would expect to see that. If we have a stock market crash like that, I expect to see it again. But I don't see the markets crashing anytime soon. They went through a bad year last year, and there's a lot of pension funds out there that got to be parked somewhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been asked why I partner with more than just one precious metals dealer. I'm not a financial advisor, but I think it's a good practice to always get more than just one perspective on preserving your wealth with gold and silver. I think that being diverse in everything is paramount in being well prepared, and that also goes for wealth preservation. If you are interested in turning some of that funny money into real money, take a look at not one, but all of the companies that I partner with. to make sure that you are getting the service that suits your personal needs. And the reason I partner with SD Bullion, ITM Trading, and Genesis Gold Group is because they have a good track record, and more importantly, because there are good people working behind the scenes.